25 years old. I'm an aerospace engineering student. I did my bachelor in mechanical engineering, and now I'm doing my master's in aerospace engineering in ISA, so it's like an engineering school in Toulouse in France. The reason why I'm here is to share with you a very exciting project that I worked on last year. It's the MDRS, so the Mars Desert Research Station. So what I did there was actually an analog mission. So basically an analog mission is simply a simulation of a space mission, but instead of going to space, you actually do it here on Earth. So we did this 1 month simulation with a crew of 7 people. 6 of them were French students and me. I'm Moroccan, as you can see. And we were there for a whole month, 4 weeks, by ourselves, complete isolation in extreme environment in the desert of Utah. So Utah is like the middle of nowhere in the United States of America. And we spent like a whole month there doing a lot of experiments, trying to simulate life on Mars, as well as extreme isolation to see how this actually impacts our brain and our human being in general. So as you can see, space is a very exciting industry. It's very exciting. I think all of us who were kids, we were all dreaming about becoming astronauts one day and going to space and looking at the stars and the planets because it's so pretty and it's so dreamy. And while we're growing up and we go to school and realize actually there's a lot of constraints related to your nationality. And unfortunately, being Moroccan, there is no space agency. Like there is the NASA, which is the American Space Agency. There is ESA, the European Space Agency, JAXA, the Japanese. But unfortunately, there is no Moroccan Space Agency, neither like a very active African or Arab space agency, except of course the ones that are in the United Arab Emirates. So while we grew up, we realized that little by little we start to forget about these dreams and we start to shift our projects to different areas. And doing this kind of students project that is an analog mission is one step towards achieving this dream of becoming an astronaut one day. And it's very exciting. It's very interesting to realize that even though everybody is telling you, no, to do space you have to be American or you have to be European, you have to look for the opportunities that does not require you to be necessarily like from the first world countries. And it was very difficult because these, for example, the MDRS, the mission I did during last months, it has always been like French people who do it because it's, so basically it's like the ISA, our school in Toulouse, sends every year 7 students from the school. And every year it was mostly like French students, and sometimes it was like a Spanish student or like generally European. So this is like the first year a Moroccan, African, non-French, non-European was done this kind of thing. So it's very interesting to be the first one to break the cycle, to be the first one to do this kind of things, to remind everyone that space is not only limited to Europeans and Americans. As Moroccans, as Africans and Arabs, we can also do these kind of things. And this is like the message I really wanted to do. And it was a very hard like selection process because like the selection process is basically like similar to the one that the astronauts has to go through because they have to do a lot of phases. So the first phase is basically to do like interviews, and then you have to show your motivation, and then you have to have the physical abilities and also the technical abilities. And there is no restriction about nationality. So you have to look for this opportunity and go for them so you can show to yourself and to the whole world that Moroccans as well can do these kind of things. This is a very good question because when we do these kind of things, we just don't go there to just do nothing. We have to do science experiments. And the reason why we do this because, you know, like if we want to send humans to Mars, we have to make sure they can survive on Mars. Because the way to go to Mars takes approximately from 6 months to 2 years. So just the fact that we're gonna take humans to Mars is a very long travel and a very long journey. So we have to make sure that this human being that we're gonna put in a space shuttle, they can survive because as humans, I mean, all of us lived during COVID and we know how hard it is to be isolated and confined in one space. So it's very important to see what are the limits that we can push a human being to survive in extreme and small environments like this. So this is exactly the main reason why we do these analog missions. We do it for the science, we do it to learn about how our brain works, about how a crew can actually interact with each other. So this is the main reason why we do that. So basically we had all kind of experiments. We have experiment that actually treats human factors. So human factor is everything related to psychology of human being and to the brain. And they made us do a lot of like, you know, cognitive assessment, like exercises, like cognitive exercises to see how we react to stress. Experiment. It was called Orbital Architecture, and it was done by researchers from KTH. It's a university in Sweden. And actually what is exciting about this experiment is that it has already been sent to space. Like there's a Swedish astronaut that did this experiment as well. He went to the ISS, so the ISS is the International Space Station during the Axiom 3 mission. So he did the same experiment that we did. So this is very exciting. So it shows us that the experiments we do are very important. We don't just do them for like the fun, and we do them because they're useful and they're very helpful for the science communities. So I can go through the experiments. Orbital architecture actually treats or like studies the impact of different places and architecture on our brain and our focus and concentration. Because as you know, a Martian base has different places. So we have the science base, we have the habitat, which is the place where we all live together. We have the RAM, which is the engineering base. We have the green habitat, which is the place where we grow plants and we have our like vegetables and fruits. So this researcher studies how different places and different modules of the base will impact our brain. So for example, one day he will ask us to do a cognitive test in the green hub, and then the second day he will ask us to do it in a science dome, and then third day he will ask us to do it in another place. And he wants to study, for example, if we are in the green hub, maybe it's better for us to be in a green hub because there's the plants next to us, there is a lot of lights. But for example, where in the habitat, it's more stressful because there's a lot of people who speak, so like you get very disrupted and etc. So this is the main experiments to see how space and how different modules of the base influences your brain and influences your ability to do like cognitive tests and to do exercises and to focus on your tasks. So these experiments have been done by a real astronaut who went to space, and we have been able to do it as well, which is very, very exciting. So thank you for this question, because it's very important to point out this like big gap in the science industry. Like as we all know, first of all, aerospace engineering is a very men-dominated field. Like it's not more than 20% of female engineers, unfortunately. And apart from the fact that it's only like very discriminated towards female, you're also a third world female. Like you're from Morocco, nobody have heard about this country. Most of people in the United States doesn't even know where Morocco is. So you're like a minority inside of a minority. And this is like a double like issue. But honestly, like focusing on that actually will just pushes you back. So if you just say to yourself, oh, like nobody has ever done it before, then you will not do it because you don't have any like real model who have actually done this before. But if you just tell yourself, it is what it is, I will just be the first one to break the cycle. So the message here is that there is unfortunately a lot of issues being Moroccan and also being a Moroccan woman, but you have to be the first one to tell to yourself, no, I don't have to change my nationality to work in space. I can be the first one to do it as a Moroccan. I don't have to have a dual citizenship to do it. I can just do it being a Moroccan by like looking for opportunities like this. So these kind of opportunities are basically for students. Like the MDRS is for students. There's a lot of other analog astronauts in the whole world that you can apply to. They are for free. Like this one, for example, we have been sponsored by university to do it. So we went there for free. There's another one called Asclepios that I did also 2 years ago. It was for free as well because it was sponsored by university as well. So there's a lot of opportunities like this that you can go look for them and force yourself and apply and do all you can to be a part of it if that's really what you want to do. So this is like a very important thing to remember if you're a Moroccan woman and you're very passionate about space. What I can say is that you have to keep fighting. If nobody has done it before, just be the first one to do it. It's very hard. You're not going to find really like role models, but you can be the role model and just do it sometime.